Welcome to ETV Magazine. In case you guys haven't heard, there was an election this year, and we sent out a Google form to see who the students at Eisenhower would have voted for. We emailed the poll to over 800 students, but only 95 of you guys filled it out. Great job, team. Our first question on the poll was who you would have voted for and why, and oddly enough, our answers were very similar to the real election. President-elect Joe Biden came out with 48.4% of student votes, and President Trump came out with 45.2% of votes, and the remaining student votes were for third-party candidates. We also asked how confident you were in your candidate running the country. The majority of you said you were fairly confident in your candidate running the country, while the rest of you said not very confident. One student who would have voted for Trump said his reasoning was because Donald Trump has been the greatest president since Abraham Lincoln. Our next question was asking if you think the political process should be changed, meaning should we abolish the Electoral College and only use popular vote? 50.5% of voters said yes versus 49.4% saying no. One student's reasoning was because land is not a direct representation of people. In conclusion, our poll was very similar to the real election with Joe Biden winning the presidency. He will take office in January of 2021. This has been ETV Politics. My name is Matthew. Have a good day, everyone.
So how this is going to hopefully work is, so we're focusing really on all voice acting and audio, and then live sound effects, much like a Foley artist would do, where they kind of recreate sounds using different materials. So what we'll do is when we've been just kind of rehearsing with the voices and trying to add in the sound effects as we get them figured out, and then actually record the show. So basically pre-record it, kind of like you would in a recording studio, but it's here on stage using the equipment we have. And then people that want to watch it or purchase tickets to see it, they'll get like the private link to watch it.
I like how it's different this year, and it's not like just a play or just a musical, it's a radio show. And even though like we have to deal with the 6 feet apart and the masks and all the regulations, I think that we've been able to overcome those challenges and find a better solution, and we're still able to do what we love, so I think that's always great.
For each character, they have to find a way to make that character distinct to the audience, because the audience is not going to physically see those different characters. They're going to have to tell them apart by hearing the differences. So each student had to really come up with a different voice for each character they're portraying, and then stay consistent with that voice every time they are that character.
The biggest concern would be, do we get to, as far as this year's wrestling season would be, do we get to complete the season or not? Just looking forward to be able to compete, for allowing these kids to be able to have a competition and be able to do what they've done on a normal basis as far as being able to have the ability to wrestle. By our rules, yes, if any time that you are not competing and you're sitting, we should be socially distancing and we should be wearing masks as well. When possible, we will sanitize as much as possible the room before, after. We will have, there's body wipes, there's spray foam, there's different stuff like that that we'll have. But just when we are not maybe doing something, they will need to be wearing masks as well as much as possible. Just kind of like those kids that are on off days like that, the temperature checks, bring new clothes that's all clean, make sure everything gets washed, all that kind of stuff.
My biggest concern is probably just if there even is a wrestling season, honestly. Obviously I'm worried about my family and stuff, but really, I just want there to be a season. I'll probably just continue to follow the COVID guidelines, like wearing a mask. I guess just getting on the mat with the guys and get in one last season wrestling, doing what I like. I wouldn't say I'm nervous. Getting sick wouldn't be good, but I hope it doesn't get canceled. I don't think it will, but there's going to be a lot of restrictions and whatnot.
Hello, this is Amelia Carter and Jacob Hoover, and you are watching At The Review. Today we will be reviewing 7 different shows that are on Netflix right now. They are different genres like horror, comedy, romance, and so forth. The first one that we're going to be reviewing right now was suggested by Destiny, and it is American Horror Story.
Last stop on the haunted honeymoon tour.
Legend has it that once you were committed at Briarcliff, you never got out.
I chose American Horror Story because it sends a good adrenaline rush. You can get hooked off of it from the second you start watching it. It's a really good show to watch, and all directors know Evan Peters is crucially attractive.
And next up is Matthew with Breaking Bad.
Happy birthday.
Hi, I'm Matthew, and I love Breaking Bad, and I've been binge watching it because it is the most creative and it's the best shot show I think I've ever seen. They do a lot of cinematography stuff that you don't see in shows because they have deadlines. They gotta get stuff done. Breaking Bad wants it to be perfect and marinated.
Next up is Emma with Glee.
I'd like to take over Glee Club.
You want to captain the Titanic too?
Will Schuester had a dream.
I think I can make it great again.
I like Glee because it gives you an intake on musical arts, which I am really interested in, and it hits you emotionally.
Next up is Seventh Son by Case.
I'm gonna leave this place soon.
I knew this day would come. Be wise, be careful. Everything you ever need is inside you, my son.
So I watched Seventh Son, which is a movie on Netflix. It's not too bad. It's like a mix between Lord of the Rings and Fantastical Beasts. The main character just goes around and slays monsters for like an hour and a half. So it's a good movie. Plot-wise, it's bare minimum okay, but I would recommend it.
Next up is Jacob with Waco.
You've looked to me to be your leader, to guide you on this journey.
I like Waco because it portrays the tragic events that happened in 1993 in Waco, Texas. It also portrays both sides from the ATF to David Koresh. Next up is Amelia with the Umbrella Academy.
6 children, gifted with abilities far beyond the ordinary. I give you the Umbrella Academy.
I like Umbrella Academy because if you like superhero movies but don't want to sit through a 3-hour film, Umbrella Academy is perfect for you. I like how it gets more in depth of the comics and talks about more of the characters. Next up is Mr. Diebler with Dexter.
Come on, you think you
There are people out there who do really bad things.
Come on if you think, come on if you think.
Dexter, if you haven't seen Dexter, it's pretty good. It's a little gory. You start pulling for the actual serial killer because he lives by a code.
This has been the review. Thanks for watching.